Welcome, everybody. We will start very soon. Hello, 808. Hello, Dig71. Mr. Baxter. Hello, Black Cat Pinball. And Smidge. Who else is here?
Is it really 40 ounces to freedom, though?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 56 of PinTech Live. And look, we have Jody Guntero from Ramp-O-Matic with us today, and we're really, really excited. How are you feeling today, Jody?
Oh, great. I'm so glad to be here. I appreciate you guys reaching out to me.
Yeah, and so for y'all who don't know, Jody makes awesome plastic ramps for our beloved games that, you know, we can't really find those ramps anymore. Jody is one of the heroes in the community that makes those for us. And Jody, do you want to tell us a little bit about, the age-old question, how did you get into pinball? And then how did that transcribe into you building ramps for us?
Well, I've always kind of enjoyed pinball, but not like seriously until the last 4 or 5 years or so. Probably where I really, like, when I bought my first game, I was fixing my basement up and I put a pool table in and that was cool. And then, I had one of my friends over, he's like, you need a pinball machine. I was like, you're right. And then I saw there was a Gold Wings on Craigslist and I bought a Gold Wings and I still have it.
Awesome.
So, and then I think the next game I bought was a Strange Science, and somewhere in there I wound up with a Hollywood Heat and an Arena. And the Arena was the first ramp I made because it had a chipped entrance. So, and Arena, it wasn't available. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, I bet I could make one of these. So
Dang.
That's how it started. I started forming them out of my oven in my kitchen with a shop vac, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. How many ramps have you done so far? Like, how many games do you have ramps?
I had to do a count, but I've got to be like 25 games, maybe, at least one ramp. There's probably at least 25 to 30 different ramps. Some games have up to 3 ramps in them. But I've done probably like 15 new molds this year, 16 new molds this year so far, which is nuts since the beginning, since January 1st. But I'm going to cool off on that a little bit over the summer.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's awesome.
Take a break.
Oh, hey, DeWisp. DeWisp is on here. He said he just got some ramps from you last week, Jody.
Excellent.
Which games did you get it for, DeWisp? Florida is looking for an Aerosmith OEM topper. If anyone knows, hit up Joe.
Yeah, you and a lot of people.
Oh, man. So just to let everyone know, Kyle is working on Indy 500 right now. He is getting ready to do some ramp fittings with these new ramps that Jody just made for us and shipped to us. So we're really excited to place those onto the machine and take a look at them.
That, in fact, we are.
Tricky, but so DeWisp got it for Cue Ball Wizard, Excalibur, and Victory.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Those are great games. That's the thing I like to hear is, like, the first 3 games you got were weird games. And that's kind of like, those are the games that I really love.
Side of collecting, yeah.
Obscure
games.
You have so many people that you meet when you're like, it's like, oh, what pinball games do you have? And they're like, well, I've got Addams Family and Twilight Zone and Tales of the Arabian Nights. And you're like, yeah, I know the other 9 games you have. Like, tell me the good stuff, right? Like, what do you mean the good stuff? Tell me other things. Like, oh yeah, I've got a Gold Wings and a Genesis. And like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. That's cool because they don't get love.
Out there.
You gotta appreciate the weird stuff too, you know.
I think I've seen an Excalibur at the Museum of Pinball, most likely.
I think.
So Jody, that's kind of a theme for you at Ramp-O-Matic, is to create ramps for maybe the more obscure games, or is it just kind of happen like that because that's what you're a fan of?
More or less, that's kind of the latter. I do this part-time, although sometimes I feel like it is full-time. So if I do like a really popular one and I get like 75 ramps to make right off the bat, it's going to bury me. So like these less popular games are great because I can run a few off and make a whole bunch of people really happy, and just kind of, once I have the mold, I have it forever, so I can keep running it. And plus I love the cheesier the game, the better. So,
yep.
These are ramps that nobody was ever going to see remade probably otherwise. So
Sure. Jacula in the chat says, how many Shrek ramps were ordered in 2020? You make any Shrek ramps?
No Shrek ramps.
No?
I haven't got into the Stern stuff too much, and it's not for any other reason other than I just I've been trying to get coverage for every System 80B game, and we are down to, between myself, Free Play 40, and whoever else is out there. We're down to one last ramp that is not available to buy right now for a System 80B, and I believe that is for now I'm drawing a blank. Hot Shots.
I was gonna say Hot Shots.
This fall, so that will cover every System 80B game.
Wow.
So
that
Steve
game.
Young, sorry, Steve Young's name was slipping my mind.
That game is 100% cheesy.
Well, and that accelerator ramp is always broken, so I've gotten quite a few requests for it. I just need to get around and do it.
The accelerator ramp is always broken, and so is the accelerator.
Asking if you have Data East Batman ramps.
Aha!
That is on the agenda. There is some definite love for that game. I've got to look into it once I get The Simpsons squared away, and hopefully roller games. That's like on the near term.
Roller
That's right.
Games. That's awesome.
Oh, and remember, I have a Data East Batman ramp sample for you. So
yes,
that will be
that's one I've definitely had a number of people interested in. And Free Play 40 did I think it was the skill shot ramp there's like a couple holes in it. That one's available now, I believe, and I'm gonna try and get this big one done so they're all available.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Chris Kotek just said Starship Fantasy is the other ramp maker.
Yeah, I was thinking of Pinball Resource because he has the Gottlieb stuff.
Right.
But yes,
Yeah.
Starship Fantasy also makes a lot of the Bally Williams stuff that everybody wants.
Nice.
Yeah, Larry has kind of shied away from the Data East and the Gottlieb. I don't think he's ever made a Gottlieb ramp, but he's shied away from the Data East stuff and is concentrating a lot more on the Bally stuff right now, the Williams stuff. So again, it is great to have you doing all the other in-between bits.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of requests in the chat for you, Jody. Another person said, put me on the list for Cue Ball Wizard if you make another run for that. Is that something?
Yeah, I will be running some of those soon. I'm backed up on that one a little bit. The way I run the ramps is,
how does it work?
I have a certain size piece of plastic I use, and when I'm running bigger ramps, I try and fit smaller ramps in around it so I don't waste a whole bunch of plastic. So that kind of keeps the price down. So I'm waiting till I get the right big ramp to run, and I will squeeze some Cue Ball Wizard ramps in there. That is like on the must-do list in the near term. So I'm trying to have everything available in stock in the next month. We'll see how long that lasts, but
that's awesome.
Everything that I make available, I should say.
Yeah, and your friend Jason Artis says that you're a bit modest and your overall pinball restoration skills are on point. You got your fans in here.
Oh,
Jody.
thanks, Jason.
That's awesome.
I haven't done one in a while. I need to get back to that. I have my next project is, you're going to laugh at this. I have a motor dome and I have an OEM playfield for it. So I'm going to make those ramps for all three people that want the ramps for that game, and get that playfield put in. I have it clear coated, so I'm probably going to have the only motor dome with a clear coated playfield out there. But
Probably.
I'm going to get it done.
For better or worse.
That sounds beautiful. So when you do your restorations, do you try to take them out to shows for people, or is it just kind of sit in your private collection?
I haven't yet, but if I have my name in for 2 spaces at Allentown, and if I get the spaces, I'm going to bring 3 of my games up.
Awesome.
One, I'll bring Gold Wings up, which has a full restoration. It's been clear coated. I'll bring Victory up with the new ramps that I have in it. I have 3 different colored ramps for it now. And I will bring Mousing Around because that has all new ramps in it. So
Awesome.
I'll have them
I
in
love
my booth
messing around.
if I get my booths.
If
So
you get the booth.
hopefully that goes on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I put my name in, but I only put it in a few weeks ago, and I haven't heard anything yet. So
Well, Steve, I bet Steve can pull his weight and get you a booth. No. Anyways, yeah, that'd be. I'm excited for us to go up to that show. I'm excited for the swap meet. I have cash strapped away, ready to fill our trailer up with all sorts of goodies when we.
Yeah, it'll be my first time at Allentown, so I'm excited. It's a very different
fun.
show than all the rest of the shows, right?
you got to go to the farmer's market.
That's
Yep.
what everyone says. They're like, go to the farmer's market.
You won't find a show with better food.
Okay.
Kyle's like trying to think of a show that has really good food. Kyle always looks for the food around all the shows we go to. He's like, where are we gonna eat?
Well, what did we eat in Houston last time?
They had those
My brain is off.
pupusas or
No. God. Okay, my brain isn't working. I'll think about it like at the end of the show, and I'll just yell out the name of a food. But man, yeah, having food nearby a venue is amazing. So, everyone who's a showrunner, make sure you put your events next to a good place to eat, please.
It's a good thing. So Kyle, let's look at these ramps, right? I want to see the old ramps and the new ramps.
You won't be able to tell them apart. No.
Yeah, what if we hold them up and then everyone has to guess which one is the new ramp, the left or the right?
Well, the one that has all the stuff on it is very clearly the old ramp, but
Oh yeah, it's got the little light.
we've got ourselves some replacements here. So, how many revisions of?
Here, put them on the
This
green
mold.
cam and I'll do an overhead.
Oh yeah. How many revisions of this did you have to do to get it like anywhere near the ballpark, a ballpark?
So I had to make 2 molds. The first mold I made out of a material that's a little more forgiving because I was very concerned about getting that ramp to work. That was really tricky. I had to do a female mold on that, and I haven't done a lot of female molds. And the first mold I made, I used a more forgiving material that's like it's not going to destroy the original ramp.
Okay.
So the first one I pulled broke the mold, but I got a good enough pull off of it that I was able to use that to make a second mold that was less risky. And so I probably made half a dozen pulls on that to get to where we're at right now. And, as I do, I'll do like 2 or 3 at a time. And then I'll make little tweaks when I see little blemishes or whatever that need to be sanded out and smoothed out. So I think I got it pretty close. I was really happy that it actually turned out as well as it did with the rolled lips and everything. Cause I didn't think I was going to be able to redo the rolled lips.
That's what I was trying to show off
That's
is the
so
rolled
amazing.
lip. So, I guess for people who don't know how these things are made, right? You've got when Jody's talking about a mold, there is a reverse image of this, right? That is set down, and then a really hot piece of plastic is put above, and then you use a vacuum. It's called vacuum forming, and a hot sheet of plastic goes and covers that mold, and you end up with a shape, right? There's a lot of work that goes into getting these cut and made correctly, but that is how you form the shape of this ramp, is using a reverse image and a hot piece of plastic to suck up against it. And that's how you get this little lip along the sides of some of this ramp here. I don't know if it's hard to show because it's clear.
Yeah, I have a cool video that Jody had posted on Facebook. I'm trying to bring it in now. That was the one thing I didn't get. Chuck Casey. Oh, hey, Chuck. Chuck is one of the managers of the Museum of Pinball, and runs the army that fixes all 600 plus pinball machines there. He says he has a question for you, Jody, saying, how do you pick which ramps to make?
Good question. Sometimes it's a crime of opportunity. a lot of it hinges around when I'm doing big ramps. Sometimes I'll need some smaller ramps to fill in, and I'll be like, okay, this has been on my radar. This person has offered one up, and I try and get everything to come together at the same time. So you'll see, if you follow my Facebook page, you'll see I'll run like, all of a sudden I'll have like 6 new molds. I'm like, hey, I did all these, because it just kind of works best to make the molds at one time like that. But a lot of times I kind of have an idea in my head what I can do, that I know I can do and be successful, because most of these ramps I'm relying on pinball folks to send me their originals, which are unobtainium, you know, which is why we're in this situation. So I want to be absolutely sure I get a good finished ramp to send back to them. And if it's something that I feel that I'm not real comfortable with, or I'm not sure it's going to be successful at, I don't do it. But each one I do, I learn a little bit more, and every mold changes a little bit. The whole process changes a little bit every time, because I keep learning from it. And I saw a couple questions. The ramps are made out of PETG.
Yeah.
And the flaps, I used to make them myself, but it's very time consuming. So now I sub that out to a cutting service. I send them, I do CAD for a living, one of my jobs. So nice. I draw the flaps up, I send them out to a service, have them cut, and it makes it way easier. Plus they're beautiful when they come back. They're perfect. I round, like, instead of having sharp flap edges in the corners, I put a little radius on them so they don't poke you in the finger. You know, just a tiny radius, like a 30-second. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm showing the video too while you're talking. I love this. I would love to shoot this with a really high speed camera. I tried to slow-mo it down in my editing software just because I just like that type of thing. Look, I'm going to turn on the audio too a little bit. You can kind of hear the suctioning of the plastic, or it's melting.
Look, that's my ramp too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep, that's one of them. So you got
I see the
Road Kings. You got the Road Kings Y ramp along with the Indy 500 Serpentine, and there is a spring break in the corner.
I got it. So I get what you mean. Like, you try to, like, you know, it's like a cookie cutter. You try to put as many of the pieces in to take advantage of that big piece of plastic.
Exactly.
That's cool. So that's a bunch of different games. Awesome.
Yeah, so I have all these molds on shelves, and I'll know what I have to run, and then I'll put one on there, and I'm like, okay, what else can I fit? So without, now you can't go too crazy, because with plastic stretching, you don't want to get too thin from stretching for one ramp onto another ramp, and then you want to try and maintain a minimum thickness. So
this is a completely random question, but have you ever did the vacuum sealing with the plastic on just some type of random object that doesn't need it, like set an apple there, or like, I don't know, what could you put on there, like someone's shoe as a prank?
My gosh.
So you have to have something. You can't just vacuum form anything, unfortunately. You have to have something that'll lay flat and has draft, and draft means no overhangs on your mold. So if your mold has a convex shape in it, right, the plastic will lock on and it will not come off. So basically, you've got to be very careful when making the molds that you have a couple degrees of draft so they fall out, or else you're going to be there prying them out, and it's going to be a bad time. So there are times we have to actually modify molds just a little bit, because the donor ramp maybe was like in a machine, it was torqued, so the ramp's bent just a little bit just because that's how it was installed in the machine, and it will actually create a negative draft, and the mold won't release correctly. So
wow.
We always sometimes make some very tiny tweaks. It doesn't affect anything with the ball travel or any of that, but there's so many different things that go into this. It's crazy. Does it
need to dry, or is it like hot for a while? You need to let it cool down. What's like the process?
So what you don't see in the picture or in the video there is once I drop the plastic on there, I have this big air mover on the back, and I'll flip that switch, and once I have a good form, I turn the air mover on, and that helps speed up the cooling. So the plastic's 1/8 of an inch thick on almost every ramp. There's 2 that I do that are thicker because of being female, just the way they are. I need to use a thicker plastic, and that's Jurassic Park because the subway came with 3/16 material from the factory, and Monte Carlo.
Oh, nice.
That one is female, and when I first formed it on 1/8 inch, it just was like a little flimsy, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna put the good stuff in here and see what it does, and I've gotten pretty good feedback from it. So
that's awesome.
That's a great game. I want Monte Carlo really bad. Monte Carlo's got a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I would like to pick one up too.
It's a good one. It's a weird back glass, which is probably the other reason I really love it so much. Yeah, no, I mean, looking at the serpentine ramp, it's very nice. And I think, well, I mean, let's throw it on. This is actually, technically, it would be the last ramp I think that goes on, because this one goes on top of the turbo, but the other ramp, the really, really wide one, has to go around the perimeter of the game. But yeah, I mean, other than some like slightly rippled edges, which is normal for prototyping, right? There's nothing different between either of these two ramps here. So we should see if they fit. But let's start with the big one first. What my goal was today was we would test fit these ramps and make sure that their alignment holes would line up, right? We want to make sure that every mounting point hits base where it should be. And then I would probably just start transferring switches and brackets and lamps, etc. So yeah, I guess we could do that. Do you want to move on with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's up?
The one place that I'm curious about is in the middle of that serpentine ramp with a circular cover, that front lip. I need to smooth that out some more, but I wasn't sure how much I could smooth that out and still cover what it's supposed to cover. Since I don't have one in front of me. That's the big problem when you're making ramps remotely, is knowing exactly what you can and can't do and still have them function 100%.
I can send you
the process.
I can send you measurements or whatever I need to provide. It is interesting. I mean, looking at like the Williams made ramp and then the one that you put together, I mean, exactly where the difficult part to remove them from the molds are, right? Like looking at this section right here on the Williams ramp, that whole bit right here, and then we run into kind of, the same thing here. There's so many weird, it's so hard, it's so clear. This is going to be awful to show on camera, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's ignore that part. Let's actually try fitting the things because that will tell us something, and then we could look in awe and see how beautiful they are.
Can you tilt down green cam so we can get more of the playfield in the shot? Yeah. Oh, actually, hold on. I think I'm really, really zoomed in from some time ago.
Yeah, well, unzoom
it's me, not you. It's usually the other way around, right?
Heard that before.
Yeah, that's great. You heard that one before? There we go. Cool. And then for everyone in the chat, we're going to do a little giveaway for an Indy 500 promotional coaster sticker. I dropped the form link in the chat. If you click on that, add your name and email in. I'll pull all the names and we'll do a little random raffle to see who our winner is in a few minutes here. So everyone start dropping your names in that while Kyle works.
Works? This isn't working. This is fumbling.
While Kyle plays.
There you go. Okay, I put the other camera on the playfield. Maybe that would be a silly view to look at.
Yeah,
too.
Let's check it out.
Anywho, I know that.
Whoa. Cool.
I know this one. I've taken these apart a few times. Most of the time, though, this ramp is very broken. They break together. And it is a two-part ramp.
And that ramp also comes with the metal bracket. I have those laser cut and I bend them up and install them so you don't have to worry about any of the riveting, hopefully, when you do these.
Oh, that's awesome. So it comes with that. Cool.
So the other side of the ramp I'll show, it pops in here and then they are affixed here. But let me get the other bit in also. This one's goofy because it actually has a slot in the back pane here that it sits in. So together, I will have to push these together, and they're not going to sit super, super nice yet, just because they're not screwed together either.
Let's see if we can see what he's doing.
Starting with the holes for the the ramp entrance, those line up perfectly, which is good. I would affix it right now, but I'm not going to yet. I want to keep it all loose still. I don't remember what relation all this has with this ramp. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. It's going to be. I kind of broke the other ramp taking it out when we were doing the original bit. It was poorly repaired, so I'm not sure if I can rely on the other one to double check fitment just now. But these line up good. I'm seeing. I think the only thing I might need to put hardware in here to see. But we've got a teeny bit of overlap here, which at the end of the day would probably be okay. But I'd want to remeasure versus the other ramp. Let me get a poker just so I can show what I'm seeing. This pen will... the other ramp ends about right here. And I'm pretty sure that these are supposed to butt up next to each other on this bit of the plate. Let me see show you what I'm showing here. Separate these. Teeny bit of modification, maybe.
That was one of my questions too, because if you look, there's actually an indentation in the other ramp that's almost reminds you that, see, the sidewalls are actually wider going in. I thought maybe that was because the other ramp was supposed to fit inside of it. Yeah,
so I know that this ramp it fits inside of here, right? But I think that what's happening is the entrance half or the right half of the ramp is overlapping a teeny bit. I mean, we're talking maybe a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch right here.
Okay.
So we can get some good measurements on that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I think we can. Actually, let's do this. Let's look at the old one too. It does seem that this one does sit perfectly flush. So we'll get those measurements right. Can you do the green, the above head camera emotive, so I can kind of show what the original one fits like? And remember, we are prototyping these ramps. This is the process we need to go through to get these right for next time when people come to buy them. Actually, I'm finagling with this. I need to do it somewhere flat. Can I do it on this pinball game? Is this long enough?
Where did he go?
I'm going to go over here. Can you do the handheld camera?
Oh, wow. Yeah, spin the front of the razor to get the ring light on. Sweet.
So what we're working with here, again, this is the original one. It's very broken. These wings here have long since crumbled, and they are supposed to be held together in this ball gate. You can see the original, left side of the ramp here in the plate. And what we've got, the original ones do seem to fit together with a flush mount right there. So a teeny little adjustment, but that's why we prototyped. Does that come through?
Yeah, that looks pretty pretty clear.
So, but that's okay, because I can get the right measurements over to Jody, and then I can continue using these, and I'll modify it myself using the handy-dandy Dremel tool that everyone should own.
That's right.
Let's get this out, and this will help me get some measurements, and then we could test the other ramp. I still will go in and start clicking the switch mounts and stuff to it also. Oh, and let's see here really quick while this is mounted. I know that there is a ramp guard, or not a ramp guard.
And these will come with bulb sockets pre-installed. We just didn't get that far in this process.
Oh, very cool.
Because they're riveted from the factory, so I'm like really working hard at getting to the point where customers don't have to rivet anything. Like anything that's riveted on the ramp, you can get it with those parts on it. Pretty
sure that this is the right. This game came very apart,
Rage.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this isn't a mistake. There is only one attachment point for the ramp on the bog lane guide. This hole here is just to facilitate this. Not going to fit on well with that nut, but either way, yeah, that works. It fits well. So of the mounting points, this ramp only has one mounting point, and then we've got a hole here for the diverter. Yes, it is a teeny bit off, but we force these things to fit, and they are fine. These ramps do end up having a bit of memory when they are installed correctly, but it is kind of goofy that this ramp really only has 2 attachment points.
Yeah. I wind up, it's such a pain sometimes because there's certain places on the playfield when they assemble the playfield, there might not be like an exact dimple where they put the screw in, and then it's like you could be off a 16th, sometimes an 1/8 of an inch on some mounting points in some games, and it's like you try to, I copy exactly the ramp I get, but if my ramp was installed in a game on Friday afternoon and yours was on Tuesday afternoon, there could be a slight difference. And unfortunately, there's no way I've figured out around that one.
No.
Sometimes you got to slot holes out a little bit to get them to fit. It kind of just comes with the territory.
I'm sure there was someone at the factory that did have the Friday afternoon job title too, the maker-worker guy. Let's get this thing out the door and in the box. How did I snake this in here the first time?
The side rails, when they run like the wood screws into the side rails, those can kind of be all over the place.
I think it's just kind of weird looking at these ramps also, seeing like they really relied on a ton of zip ties. They weren't even trying to like hide it. They were just like, screw it. We're just going to zip tie every single wire harness all the way around this thing.
Speed straps.
Speed straps.
Yeah.
Wait, where are the zip ties? Oh.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so for the other ramp, this one is also goofy. This game has a lot of goofy ramps.
It's because you're a race car driver. You're like, zoom everywhere.
Yeah. Again, this is one that's going to rely on a bit of, it's going to need to form into its own like bit of plastic memory, right? If we screw this guy down here, we have 2 mounting points for this ramp again, which is odd. But, well, I guess not also. Once we install the, there's a wire form here that poops the balls into the turbo. That's a technical term. That does kind of hold this thing down here a little bit, but all these teeny holes around here, these are all for wiring harness loom. So otherwise, I mean, this thing does its job exactly how it should. But maybe I should put the other pieces on and we could see how they correlate, maybe?
Yeah, the two holes in the center of that cover, I was kind of curious what they were actually for because I couldn't really see really well in the pictures I found on the internet. So, and the holes that are cut in that ramp, I did a real close trace job cutting them out. I'm building a jig to do that next. But until I know exactly what they do and what they need to be, I didn't want to actually finish my jig off.
Do you see which holes he's talking
part of
about,
it,
Kyle?
Yeah.
Do you wanna...
Yeah, so the big
teardrop shaped one and then like a D shape.
The D-shaped one.
Oh yeah, I see the teardrop one.
The D-shaped one is for the this guy, this wire form, and that allows the balls to fall into the turbocharger. The other one, I believe, is just so you have access to the impeller inside the turbo, I guess.
Yeah, okay, good.
So yeah, I'm only fixing it with one screw here, but I've got it stretched out a little bit to meet up with the mounting holes for the entrance, and stretched out here for this. The other bit where this ramp does attach, I guess I could replicate that now. This is goofy, but this is factory. This wire form here, which supports the end of the ramp, is supposed to be zip tied to the ramp.
Let me focus on that.
Let's focus on.
Unfortunately, when you have curved lips out there like that, that's kind of like the only way you can really attach it. You know, instead of having a flat piece of metal on a regular flat ramp lip, you got to have a wire or a round shape in there. I kind of like the rounded lips on ramps just because I feel like it makes them stiffer.
Yeah.
And in my selfish opinion, they're easier to cut out.
They look nice. 808 asked a few questions. One, do you always use washers between nuts and ramps?
Between nuts and ramps. Yeah, it depends. Yes, I usually do try to. Using a washer will help kind of like even out the pressure, right, that is put against the plastic, which is generally old and brittle. I like to use washers between, like if I were to put a piece of hardware here, right, it would need a washer to sit and put good pressure. I'll show you when I fix it in a second. We're going to try it out. I want to get it bent out the right way and make sure everything lines up. So.
I'm a big fan of the screws with the oversized heads on them. But I think a lot of the factory games have them, but a lot of times you're not going to find them in a hardware store. You got to get them from like McMaster Car, and it spreads out. Especially when you're up against plastic, it spreads out any kind of forces.
Yeah, like a pan head screw or something.
Keeping it from cracking. Yeah, it's like an oversized pan head. In fact, I just ordered some, but I know McMaster Car has them. I'm sure Marco probably has them too, because you guys are awesome at finding all these little oddball parts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have most hardware that is original or would have been used like on a game from the factory. I do like those too. I think since I always try to put things back together the way I found it, I do end up using a lot of washers and like SEMS head screws where they call for it, but let's see.
808 also asked, any tips, this is for wire form ramp, but any tips on fixing broken wire form besides a weld?
Zip ties.
Jody, Kyle, you guys have any tips for 808? Jody's like, I'm the plastic ramps guy.
Well, welding's probably the best way. I mean, but you need somebody, you don't want to just throw your stick welder at it. A nice TIG weld is probably like the best way, but otherwise that's kind of tough other than maybe like JB Weld epoxy.
I've cobbled them back together using zip ties before, if like when I'm really desperate. But yeah, I mean a real fix, a permanent fix would absolutely require a weld. So, but the nice thing is like you could, it's not super hard to find a welder when you can, if you consider like looking at an exhaust shop. And hopefully like an exhaust shop that maybe works on higher end cars. I don't know. That I've always found good luck finding really good welders doing that kind of a technique.
Nice.
Oh, I heard the spinny wheel.
I know, I'm trying to get it to work. Oh no.
Good, I think you got it to work. Emoto's ready to do a giveaway.
I hear Midge laughing back there. Midge, you don't have your microphone on to join us in the chat.
He refused.
Oh, okay. He's just chilling. Okay, so we're gonna do a giveaway real quick for this awesome Indy 500 promotional coaster. It's very nostalgic. Here's the
That's the best
screen.
adjective you could come up for it. It's exciting. It's cool.
What's your adjective? Exciting? Yeah, it's exciting. All right. You got a 1 in 15 chance for everyone who signed up. We're going to spin the wheel. This thing's so much fun. Who's going to be the winner? Oh, it was almost Craig Patton. Kevin Moore. Congratulations, Kevin.
Good old Kevin Moore.
You just won an Indy 500 coaster sticker.
It's not a sticker. It's a coaster.
It's not a sticker. It just looks like a sticker because it's round and oh, there it is right there, right behind me. It's a really cool graphic.
It is pretty cool. This game is really cool. Your
restoration arcade shop. Congratulations, Kevin.
This game was plagued with all sorts of like terrible, absolutely wrong hardware.
It will hold beer.
So I am getting rid of a lot of the old screws and I am trying to substitute them with some good new things. So I'm struggling to find a long enough number 6 screw here. It seems like I have every length except for like a little longer than a 1/2 inch.
Oh man.
But it's okay. This will take just a second. So here's the other, okay, here's a question I've actually had for you for a while, Jody, also. Why ramps? Is there anything in your background that involves plastic forming?
Good question. So by trade, I'm a tool and die maker. But what I've been doing in that field has nothing to do with actually making molds and vacuum forming ramps. I'm actually a stamping guy. But I do a lot of CAD design and designing progressive dies and things. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like a general, like, I see a challenge and I'm like, I can do this and I'm going to try it. And it just evolved. You know, I made a little vacuum form box. I watched a bunch of video on YouTube and made a vacuum form box and tried to, actually the very first ramp I did, I tried to draw it in CAD and I actually 3D printed the buck or the mold itself out. And that was the one I did for Arena and it worked pretty well. And it was just, after that, I just kind of messed around, learned more. Then I did Gold Wings and I did Hollywood Heat. And for everybody that has Hollywood Heat ramps for me, thank you, because you guys have basically helped build my business to the point where I was able to build a new vacuum press myself. You know, I put anything I made on those ramps, I put back into it and built the business up to the point it is now where I can make most ramps as far as size goes. And it just kind of keeps growing. And, you know, hopefully maybe someday I could do this full time. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of space limited where I am right now. And, you know, and it's nice having, you know, benefits and insurance at a day job. So
yeah, you know.
I love doing it though. I go in the garage sometimes on a Saturday at like 7 in the morning and I'm in there till like 6 at night, just making molds, making ramps, building up my stock. And it's been great so far.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, again, it's like, it's the people like you who just like get an idea and you're just like, yeah, heck with it. I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm going to do this. And that's just what makes this whole hobby better. You know, again, it's like, even just 10 years ago, you couldn't get ramps for almost maybe not 10, maybe 20, 13, 14 years ago, like ramps were just like non-existent. You couldn't get ramps. And now it's like I can get ramps for Excalibur. I could get ramps for Spring Break, right? Like not just Creature from the Black Lagoon and Addams Family and Twilight Zone and whatever, you know. Yeah, no,
I feel like I'm helping get more people into the hobby with the cheaper ramps like that, or not cheaper ramps, cheaper games. You know, that were, you know, they really didn't have any hope of getting ramps made. So now, you know, these Hollywood Heats are getting fixed, put back out in the wild, and it's bringing more people into the hobby because people that are new to the hobby might be more apt to drop the money on a cheaper game, and it builds the hobby for them, and it gets them into the hobby, it gets them interested, it gets them into fixing machines up. And then they go, you know, they buy other games or they keep that, like me. You know, I just, you know, I can't give up Gold Wings.
Yeah, no.
So.
Oh, maybe you'll turn into me and then you just can't get rid of any game. And you'll just have way too many eventually, so.
Yeah,
hopefully.
And you're saving those pinball machines too from being thrown out, you know. You're giving them life again. So that's really
exactly.
Cool.
Now through this, you know, making all these ramps, I rented storage to store my ramps in, which means now I have room. I could actually put machines in there, which is really dangerous. So.
No, never in storage.
And they start duplicating. Yeah.
Games don't belong in storage.
Yeah.
You just have to go put them in your favorite bar down the street, and then they start paying their own rent.
Yeah, not in storage. Yeah.
Does my game have the siren? Absolutely, and it is hooked up.
You should hook up my friend TJ and I.
Ramps. Oh Oh yeah, you had some really cool colored ramps. Do you want to talk about the different colors you make? Are there?
Yeah, and that's really been like a Hollywood Heat that really took off, and that was like just something I had an idea on, and it like I was really surprised at how well that was that worked out, and so I offer like Hollywood Heat. I did in pink, originally in pink, purple, teal, the original red, and clear. I don't really do the pink so much anymore, but that'll probably be like a special run color in the future. I just started doing gold wings in blue. I haven't actually listed them yet. I just did victory in yellow, red, and clear, which I think is kind of cool because that game kind of has those colors. I'm going to get those put in my game and take some photos and see how they look.
That's so rad.
Can we request any color? Like, can I be like, hey, I would like a red Indy 500 ramp set?
So the big ramps I can't really do. So the ramps, the way I color them is through a dyeing process, which means I have to have a tank big enough to hold that ramp, and I have to be able to store that much dye. So right now, the biggest ramps I can do is Roadshow. I do those in the original yellow. And that's about as big as I can fit. The long ramps, I guess I could probably try and like flip them over, but I don't want to have like an overlap spot where it's like dark in a place. But
yeah,
I've got some ideas on some new things I want to try with that. We'll see what happens here this summer, but I think it'd be cool if you could have, part of the problem with dyed ramps is if it's too dark and you have, say, let's say police force, you've got inserts underneath the beginning of the ramp. If you make that dark, you're not going to be able to see those inserts. So what if I could make that area specifically on the bottom of the ramp clear and the rest of the ramp red and blue? You know, that's kind of an idea I had that I might really pursue this summer. I know Mark, Free Play 40, he already does 2 colored ramps, which are really neat. So I was thinking, well, what if I could just make some areas not colored at all?
Yeah.
And, people might be interested in that.
Wow.
Gonna have some cool Harlequin ramps sometime soon.
Yeah, seriously.
Like the Harlequin VWs from the 90s.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
Yeah, that's that is fun, and I do think that is a special thing, is saving those games from the landfill. They've already got like a, you know, the pinball people have a not a high opinion of a lot of these odd games, you know, so they aren't wanted by, you know, the core group of pinball nerds, but you know, to other people who just want a game, having being able to save those things is just amazing. So.
Yeah, I mean, how many Excaliburs probably wound up in the landfill because that ramp was broken? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an original that wasn't split in the middle of that ramp somewhere and didn't have like Gorilla Glue on it, or the example one that somebody sent me to copy actually had like a lock cylinder glued underneath trying to hold it together, and then like a 10-penny nail.
Wow.
You know, like, those ramps are just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, well, like I was telling you too, it's like every single roller games ever has a blown out front entrance to the ramp, right? Like, oh, here's something Williams like to do all the time. It drives me nuts. Oh, put the small camera on, would you?
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were going to tell us a story. Being a show.
Well, you'll get a story, but putting the damn wires for the switch that live above the above the ramp through one of the holes in the ramp.
Wait, hold on.
Did you have to unsolder those?
Oh, wait.
Let
me focus it.
You have to unsolder these to get these out. I thought I was being all smooth and be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, I'll just pop the whole harness over. No, I do have to fire up the soldering iron.
That's always a pain.
Oh well. But yeah, I'm gonna start transferring over for the long ramp. We'll have to go back and I'll bring it to the shop tomorrow and I'll Dremel it out on my lunch break or something, and we should be able to get this thing all buttoned back up pretty soon. That'll make the customer very happy, if said customer might be listening and watching to this right now. Don't hold me to anything, but pretty soon is vague enough, right?
DeWisp said my Excalibur ramp was just busted at the ramp entrance, but had to, so that's why I got the new ramp.
Excellent. Excellent. I just made 6 more last night.
That's a great game.
Nice.
I don't think there's any other pinball game that has synthesized galloping horses.
That's what I love about ADPs is the sounds. I don't know why. It's just kind of like it's quintessential 80s music, and I think it's just, you know, my childhood.
They really are perfect. TX Sector has great sound. Alien Star has great sound. I mean, heck, Night Moves doesn't have a ramp, but
Midge just put in the chat Night Moves.
Yeah.
You guys are
I like
in
the
the same
Dungeons
room
and Dragons also.
The what?
Dungeons and Dragons is a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean
I
Dungeons and
remember that
Disco?
game. You can hear Mitch laughing. So 808 has a question for you, Jody. You see it highlighted?
Yeah.
So on the repos
I do.
of ramps that frequently break, do you have any reinforcement of problem areas, thicker plastics, etc.?
So most of my ramps, it was kind of weird. Like Hollywood Heat, for whatever reason, they used really thin plastic on that. It was like 50, 60 thousandths in places. That's in an 1/8 inch now, which is more than double what it started out as. Pretty much, I don't do anything in less than an 1/8 of an inch thickness. Some ramps were 1/8 of an inch from the factory, some weren't. I on the East Coast here, I only have access to 1/8 inch and 3/16. On the West Coast, like Free Play 40, he's able to get 150 thousandths material, which is awesome. I just can't get it here. I've asked everywhere, and the places that could get it were like, you have to take an entire skid. And I'm like, I can't quite do that.
Right.
So, but here's the thing with ramps, though, is so a lot of these ramps are like 30, 35 years old. This plastic gets brittle over time, especially if it was like near sunlight for most of its life or whatever. Inherently, these new ramps are going to be much stronger for quite a while, and they shouldn't crack like sometimes you take these ramps out, the old ramps out, and they just crack getting them out of the machine. Like you look at them wrong and they crack. You're not going to run into that on the newer ramps per se. I sometimes crack them, actually, I should say more than sometimes, crack them when I'm cutting them out and making them. But that's more because of the tools I use. The oscillation will feed itself through the plastic and actually cause oscillation cracks, which are totally different. It's one of my worst demons. So there's some ramps. The Checkpoint, I think I had like close to 50% scrap rate for a while, just because it's a big ramp and that was a new thing for me at the time. And it just, you get one little hairline crack and it's done. You know, I can't sell, even if I would, there's a way you can glue them and they'll stay stable, but I just can't do that. So you wind up scrapping all these ramps, which is where the whole notion of not giving away, but for a phenomenal fee, I sell my scrap ramps to people that are into homebrew. And I just put a whole bunch of ones I can't sell seconds, ones that have defects. Sometimes they're not even fully cut out. I put them in a box and I sell them as basically for the price of shipping to anybody that's into homebrew, and then they can cut them up. They can, brainstorm with them. It's rather than throw them out, if somebody can get a use out of them, I think it's a pretty valuable thing.
Bring them to Allentown.
So I have them on my site.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now I'm all sold out. It's pretty popular when I put one up.
Yeah, I bet. That's awesome. So you put them up on your website when you have...
Yeah, they're usually in bulk boxes. It might be like a 5-pound, 7-pound box. Typically, actually, what it is I get Chewy boxes from Chewy for my pets, and I load one of them up, and when it gets full, I put it up on the website.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You see 808 asking how long do I quit my day job. The big problem here is I live in a seemingly high cost of living area where land isn't cheap, and I really need land or a cheap commercial property I can rent or lease, which is like hen's teeth around here. So then it's, do I move somewhere else? And that's easier said than done. So there's like a lot of logistics involved with actually being able to pull the trigger and do this full time, but I'm working at it. That would be the goal someday.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you having multiple jobs, to be able to give us ramps. So there's no sleep for you, Jody.
Yeah.
You go to work and then you come back and you make us ramps.
Yeah, speaking of which, I need roadshow ramps, so stop slacking.
Roadshow? Oh,
Yep.
How about Serious Driver asked if you've done any Rocky and Bullwinkle ramps? Because
So the Wayback ramps, the Wayback ramp is done by Free Play 40, and he'll be happy to make you one and sell you one. I believe he's going to have the Squirrel ramp coming soon, but he's kind of got a bunch of other things on his plate at the moment. So
everyone's coming in with the ramp.
Get a hold of him, and that's the thing with all like us ramp guys that make ramps. There's Mark, and then there's Larry and myself. We all keep the channels open and we talk. We kind of make sure we don't repeat what anybody else is doing.
That's awesome.
And especially Mark, I talk to Mark all the time, and he's just been like awesome since I met him. He's shared things with me, tips and tricks, and I've tried to share with him everything I know. And it's been like really awesome working together on some of these things and learning together. And like, there's not too many businesses you could get into where you have that ability with somebody, or you're technically your competition, but not really. We work together and want to see both of us succeed. So, and it's been awesome. So
that is really cool.
As far as Mark's ramps, you got to go to Pinside to get his ramps, though. He has a ramp, Free Play 40 ramp thread, and you got to contact him through Pinside, and he'll take care of you.
Yep, I've installed a few of his ramps. The only one I can really think of right now is Swords of Fury. But they are excellent.
Yeah, how about Roller Coaster Tycoon long ramps?
That one is too big for my machine, and I'm not super broken up over that, because these big ramps are like, they can be a real headache. I'm running into that with the Simpsons right now. I think I got a solution lined up, but cutting out the Simpson ramp is tough on my equipment.
Do you see the D-Wisp comment asking, do you need the SMB MW subway?
SMB.
I'm like processing in my head.
Oh, Steve says SMB? Super Mario Brothers. Mushroom World.
Mario World.
Is that the green ramp? I've had a few people from France really want that ramp, and I'm kind of like, that one's a tricky one.
Mushroom World.
Oh, so I have some Mushroom World parts. I had that, the yellow ramp cover. It's like a J-shaped tube. I made that, and I made the red castle for that. I had to look at the subway. You'd have to send me a picture of that, and I can tell you if I can do it or not. Small ramps I can usually get done pretty quick, as long as I schedule it into what I'm doing. The big ramps are a lot more of a commitment, but like, Hollywood Heat or something like that, those I can usually do. Like Dr. Dude, I got that one done pretty quickly. And I didn't realize there was that much of a need for Dr. Dude until I took it on, and then people were like, "Oh, this is amazing! I've been waiting for years for this."
Oh yeah, there's a Dr. Dude in our studio right now too.
Party Zone.
Oh man.
Almost.
It's so close.
Party Zone. I know we talked about this before.
That's like Dr. Dude after work, though.
If there was a ramp that I would never really want to take on because it looks like instant heartburn, that is the one, and I am so thankful Larry got that done.
Yeah, same. I bought a bunch of them, and I wasn't surprised that they sold out really fast, but I was. There was those things went like hotcakes. Yeah,
I think so. D-Wisp was seeing if you wanted his old one to work off of.
Yeah, if he can get email me through my website, or if he has my Facebook, send me a picture of that, and I can tell you for sure if I can do it. But I'm open to, especially like I said, the smaller ones, and pretty much no game is off limits as far as there's only 50 of them out there,
and you mentioned the community.
Most part, it depends how big the ramp is.
Could rally together to be we really want, we gather several people to all email you and blast you to make What's a good obscure game? Ramp.
As long as they're real people that actually want the ramps, because
it's just like a bunch of fake email addresses
on my website. Yes, well, that's actually happened before, from what I understand.
Oh, that's messed up.
So I use, not to me, it happened to somebody else, from what I understand. It's unfortunate, but so I use my website, the notify me block on there, like when a ramp's out of stock or if it's a new ramp I have listed. I count on people signing up for that to be notified, and that's kind of how I figure out how many I'm going to make initially. So I try to have enough available right off the bat so that whenever I put it in stock, all the people that want it, including Marco, can get a crack at it right away. So that's a good way to kind of lobby to get ramps made. But I can say this, I'm pretty well booked up the rest of the year. I pretty much have my schedule more or less. Are
you allowed to reveal which ramps you're going to make? Or is that kind of like you keep that a secret until it's ready?
For the most part, I know I can't like say what the order is going to be, but I know I got to get Simpsons done, and I'm going to be running that for a little while, and that's going to take some time. Indy 500, I'm going to be running that for a little while. That'll take some time. But I would like to get the roller games done for Kyle. I know some people are definitely interested in that.
Yeah.
I would like to take a look at the Data East Batman. I would how the Simpsons goes is going to determine if I take on the lower hurricane ramp, because I know there's a lot of people want that. Hopefully I can get that one in. And I think that's about, I want to get that, the Hot Shots ramps done sometime in the fall.
Nice. Rhett Reese keeps saying, who done it center ramp?
So I get that question a lot, and that is an injection molded ramp instead of a vacuum form ramp. And I just can't come up with an acceptable method to get those tabs on it, other than having like other hardware riveted on. And I'm just not sure that's going to work. Hopefully that mold is still out there, and that the person that has that mold will be able to run it soon, from what I'm understanding. So.
Yeah, that's fake.
And NASCAR's. Berto's talking about NASCAR. I would like to do the rest of the NASCAR ramps.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because that's actually had a lot more. I was kind of surprised how much demand there's been. And then I kind of got some pet projects. I'd like to pick up a Ripley's Believe It or Not at some point and like make ramps that are clear for that. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Good choice. I think.
Did you do the Genesis ramps?
Free Play 40 Mark did Genesis. And he's done it. They look so good and clear, especially if you put that EL wire in them, like on the lips. Oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah, I kind of need to get a Genesis just for that reason, huh? Well, it's an awesome game too.
And they look great. And that was one. I think it was one of the first ones Mark did. He said, and he spent a lot of time getting that to work. And we all go through this, having numerous scrap ramps when you're trying to get these things to actually form correctly, and because there's no book on how to vacuum form ramps out there. You got to just figure it out, and you're going to scrap some pieces and spend some money. And I had that problem with Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo was that took me 6 months to finally straighten out, and I probably had 60 or 70 that I threw away till I finally cracked the code to figure that out, because I wound up having to make a female mold, and that was like a major learning process. But because I learned things on that is why that ramp you're working on right there was able to happen. So
cool.
Very similar things.
Well, thank goodness for all of these things going on then.
For those who are just coming in, including Mr. Loaf, who is late to class. I'm just kidding. I'm going to play in the background the ramp fitting video again, just because it's my favorite. Or I guess, vacuum forming, right? That's
vacuum forming.
The vacuum forming. Isn't that so cool?
The only thing I've come up with, Jody.
Oh, look, and he's leaving.
Check out Zoom, because I'm going to go on that camera right now. There's some of these guys are missing just a couple holes, but again, I know that I can feel where they're supposed to be, like where they were formed in. But I know that these were also prototype, so I can.
Oh, okay. Those holes there, I was wanting to know if I needed to pre-drill those out with a real small drill bit because they were like a sheet metal screw, or if it was a through hole.
You could just do a pilot hole.
Okay.
Actually, wait, hold on. No, the ones in the front, closer to the ramp entrance, those are a through hole. The ones further back, those can just be a pilot hole. The ones in the back hold the guard. Here, let me see. I can show it on Twitch. Let me turn off my soldering iron. The ones in the back here, these are sheet metal screws. These guys are through hole for the entrance gate.
Just trying to focus it. There you go.
And I noticed that on another one too. So maybe the other one too. There's a couple that I could feel where the holes were supposed to go, but I wasn't sure if that was something you needed to know or not. So maybe instead of rushing through this, I should document.
So I know where the holes go, and I know where they were on my original. I just wasn't sure on the size. So if you're telling me they just need to be like 16th, because the 16th through, so that the screw, it's like a wood screw that's got a bite versus a machine screw and a nut. That's what I need to know.
Okay. Yeah. The ones further back on the serpentine ramp, those ones can be pinholes, and then the ones in the front need to be through hole for machine thread screws. So
excellent.
Here we go. Look, we're developing.
Awesome.
That's exactly.
I see Jody taking notes down there too.
I don't have I think I brought the drill motor that used to be here back, so I can't drill any holes. I'll have to do that tomorrow, but there we go. See, we're learning something.
Excellent. Yeah, that's so critical. That's another thing when I take a ramp project on, if I don't have the machine in front of me or local access to the machine, I have to send ramps back and forth and rely on, the person that I'm working with to put it in and give me good feedback on what holes need to go where, sometimes screw size questions just like this. And that is super critical to making sure I get the best ramp out I can get out to everybody and with the least fuss. So just like this, if we work together on a ramp, because all the ramps come from the pinball community, somebody will send me a ramp, say, hey, and I always give them a free ramp or two back, depending on how the process goes. That's part of the process. Is I need help with fitting and feedback to make sure I get it right. So without you guys, I couldn't do it.
It's pretty
awesome. Yeah, and Mr. Cleanhead says, I have a high roller casino center ramp if you want it for reproduction.
I have to take a look at that.
I have to see.
What's the best place for people to contact you if they have ramp ideas or have ramps that they can give you to reproduce?
So you can. I have my Facebook page. I have an Instagram account. There's a thread on Pinside, the Ramp-O-Matic ramp thread. And what's cool about the Pinside thread is if somebody chimes in on there, like Larry will watch that thread, Mark, Freeplay 40, Mark will watch that thread, and we kind of watch each other's threads. And if they know they're doing that ramp, they're going to say, hey, I got this in the pipeline. Like Judge Dredd, I get asked about that one a lot, and that's one that Freeplay 40 is going to be taking on here shortly, the whole set. So
oh, wow, cool.
He's working on the Comet Center ramp right now, which is tons of people want that. And then I think he's going on the Judge Dredd. So, and that's common knowledge. And that's great information. If you follow those threads, you can kind of see what we have going on.
That's awesome. Daniel's here. He's from Croatia, and he said, when I had Italian Technoplay X-Force, I had luck to find spare playfield, and they had ultra thin ramps also.
Huh.
I don't think have you seen the Italian Technoplay X-Force before, Kyle?
No.
I've never seen X-Force, but I've seen a couple Technoplay games before.
That sounds wild.
Yeah, I think Daniel actually has a video on his YouTube channel of X-Force, and it's really cool.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. They're crazy, but yeah, I noticed that on some of those older Italian games, even the ones from the 80s, they also have some pretty thin ramps. But I've also never seen a lot of them broken before. So,
like melting ramps. Do you guys see that a lot? Like people leave their pinball machines by windows or something that have a lot of high heat, and the ramps melt, or the glass protects it.
Flashers get stuck on and that'll melt them.
Yeah.
Like once or twice, I've had ramps they actually melted in the mail, depending on where they went.
Wow.
So I've taken some steps because sometimes in the summertime, it's like, I don't know if you guys have ever run into this at Marco, but I think I've got it figured out as far as a way to pack the ramps to insulate them better so they don't get overheated. You got to add a little bit more packing, but it has happened before where ramps have like just, I don't know if one went to Texas. I don't know if it was like sitting on the dash of the mail truck all day or something, but the front lip got all mangled. And because this ramp it melts at 140 degrees. So it's one thing to keep in mind if you're ever flame polishing. You definitely want to keep the flame moving.
Yeah. Well, I know our fearless ramp or packer, the man who packs almost every single package at our company, almost religiously watches this show, which I am very grateful for. But he'll let me know tomorrow when he watches. Have we ever gotten a melted ramp before? It's like sometimes it's like, South Carolina is like brutally hot. And, we throw our packages. We have so many packages, we just have to put them outside the warehouse while we wait for the carriers to pick them up. I wonder if we've ever run into that.
Well, and both of the ramps that I had melt were clear, but I know Mark has said that he seems to have issues more with the ramps that are dyed. I don't know if it's because, I'm not really sure why, other than if it was dark, but they're in a box, so they're going to be dark anyway. But a dark color is going to pull more heat in direct sun. But in a dark box, I don't know if that's the same, or if just dyeing them changes the properties a little bit. But I mean, I went so far one summer, it seems like every time I do big ramps, they go to California. It seems like everybody in California buys the big ones that are like expensive to ship. So last summer I was experimenting a little bit. I actually bought those heat reflective ponchos, and it's like that plastic material. They're like a couple
the
bucks, and I actually made bags. Yeah, I line the box in them to hopefully reflect the heat. Because like UPS, I'm in Pennsylvania. If I send a big ramp UPS to California, that thing's riding on a train across the desert, in a steel container.
Sure.
And if it's on the top of the container, it's going to be near the sun.
You got to send your ramps in ice packs.
Yeah.
Me too. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I think I remember months ago I showed that mousing around play field that we had here that had super melted ramps. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Mousing around is kind of weird because it has like the world's most shallow ramps. But like that game sat in the back of someone's pickup truck in the brutal South Carolina sun, and all the ramps just absolutely melted. It's like a puddle of ramp, and it's so sad.
A puddle. One big puddle of ramp.
I remember pulling those out on the show one day to show how ridiculous these things, or how ridiculous that was. But thankfully, actually, the guy who owns that game now is now getting a fresh set of ramps from Jody. So.
Yep, just sent him out. I think he has them by now, so. That's another one that I'm glad to be able to get done. I actually went out and bought a mousing around to finish that project to get all 3 ramps available. And I actually kind of like the game, so I'll probably hang on to it for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. That's an underrated game for sure. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just letting everyone know, we're going to do another giveaway soon. I'm going to post the form link. If you already signed up, you don't have to sign up again. Again, your name is there.
Again?
But, again.
You're getting all
I don't even know what
fancy on
accent
us.
that's from. Yeah, it's like my southern accent just turned Midwestern or something. I'm not sure about that. So yeah, sign up. Just a free little giveaway. Jody, do you want to sign up? You want me to sign you up to win a Indy 500 coaster?
But if I win, everybody's going to be like, it's rigged.
Rigged. They love saying it's rigged.
It is, in fact, rigged.
I know. We'll just send you one anyway.
All right, I'm gonna see.
Let's see.
I might be able to get this one all transferred over, other than getting the front ramp guards on and the front gate, since I do need to do a little bit of drilling.
Yes, Jody has a website. Here's his link to his website right there, Ramp-O-Matic.com. Or you can follow him on Facebook. Find his Ramp-O-Matic page there, where he posts a lot of updates. Or if you're on Pinside, follow that thread. The Ramp thread.
I find I have a lot of folks from Europe that contact me. Sometimes I got to do some translating, but it's pretty cool. You know, just the number of places in the world I've sent ramps, and I tell a lot of them. I said check Marco, because you know, Marco's got great shipping rates overseas. So order a bunch of things from Marco and grab one of my ramps. It's the same thing, and save yourself some hassle and some shipping.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I've had a few of those come to my inbox before.
If you buy it today, any of those ramps, we do have our 24-hour $10 off international shipping code that's active right now. So that goes till Friday. We do that every week. So it's free domestic shipping and $10 off international shipping for orders over $99.
Yeah, so it's time to buy up. All of our European friends that have wanted these free shipping things. Put your money where your mouth is. Just kidding, that's a little aggressive.
Yeah, Daniel says shipping's not the problem, only import tax. Right, yeah, well.
Hey, but now you have more money to spend on your import.
And then you have the money to spend on your taxes. We're trying to help. We can't discount taxes.
Doing our Canadian
They'll come after us.
I ship a lot to Canada, and I thought I was doing our Canadian friends a favor, because it gives me options. I can ship USPS or UPS, and I was like, oh, UPS gets it there a little bit quicker. And then the guy, one of the customers, was like, hey, just so you know, UPS really whacks us with import duties. I'm like, I had no idea. I thought I was doing you guys a solid. So I don't ship anything UPS to Canada anymore.
Nice. Yeah, and I feel like it's always changing too.
So
it's always changing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping. I hope to see a lot of Canadian friends at Allentown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should be a good trek. If they can get over here, that would be great. T. Peters on YouTube asked, anyone making Dracula ramps? Dracula.
Huh. That would be a good one to make.
I have an offer out there to have a set of ramps that somebody was going to let me use to copy them when I get to it, but it's probably not going to be this year yet. But it's on the radar. I've had some people interested in that.
Nice. Very cool.
It's actually here. Hey, hold on. I did just find the drill. But unfortunately, the only drill bit that's here might be too big. This might be too noisy to do on the camera anyways.
Are you going to drill it? Let's see. We can just mute your mic while you're drilling.
Yeah, I could probably do that. But yeah, what about the coffin cover in Dracula? I found a couple of those broken recently.
Data East Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ramps. Didn't you say you did those or working on them? Yeah,
that's one of the ones I looked at doing those earlier, and I actually had one here, and somebody let me borrow, and it was a little earlier on in my experiences in making female ramp molds, and I wound up sending it back. It still looks like it's going to be a heartburn-inducing ramp. I know Free Play 40's considering it also, so I think one of us are going to do it, but I don't know when. It's probably not going to be this year, but there's a definite need for that ramp, and it's definitely fairly high on our list to do.
It's a complicated ramp.
Somebody down in Australia made a few, and what's that, Kyle?
I said it's just a really complicated ramp. It's
It's very difficult when you have those two lanes next to each other with the divider between them. That divider is like super hard to form in most cases, and the mold is just going to be huge, just in all levels. It's going to be very expensive if I have to make a couple to get it right. So I'm still honing my skills, and if the job is available, if somebody else didn't get to it before me, I'll definitely look into doing it. some point here.
Well, then I'm still curious how you even did The
definitely needed.
Simpsons. The Simpsons ramp is just insane.
Actually, The Simpsons is one of the easier ramps I've done for a big ramp. You'd be surprised because it doesn't change elevation much.
I
guess that makes
pretty well. If you look at the top lip, it makes it a little easier to make the molds. It's pretty much like a flat. It's so big that I guess they use the flex of the ramp to change the elevation in it.
Yeah.
And actually, the hard part about the Simpsons ramp is just cutting it out. It's just unwieldy.
That's yeah. I guess
I think I came up with a new method to do that. I was actually doing that last night.
Oh,
so
cutting Simpsons ramps. That's the thing you don't think about. Is
I have a couple here that were formed, and I did it.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I did an experiment last night, and with cutting them out, and it went pretty well. Although I cracked the one. So, but I think I know what I got to do there. So, and that ramp is going to be cool because that's going to be like a fairly complete ramp for the first time. It's going to actually come with decals, all the bulb sockets, the wire loom holders. So that should be pretty cool. And so it should be fairly easy to swap over. The decal sheet will come. It will not come with the decals pre-installed.
Oh man, you're not going to place those on for us? We could do that for a show too, Kyle. We can fit the Simpsons ramps. It's the Data East Simpsons, right?
Yeah. Y'all, that's the thing is like I put new decals on it when before we installed it back in the game a couple weeks ago, but I also want to install a new ramp on it when we have the opportunity. So, yeah, we'll definitely do that. It's not hard. It's just the way I do it is not going to be it's going to be off 1 millimeter, and that's really going to bug somebody, right? That's kind of how you feel, right, Jody? It's just
my fee for installing decals is $1 million. I think I said that on another episode.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of hate doing it, but it's a necessary evil. I do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I've done in the past, like with Jokers. Those decals aren't available, so I had people send me ramps and I swapped them over for them, and it went pretty well. But and actually, these older games that have the typical underside plastic decals, you can reuse those pretty easily with the freeze spray method and some new double-sided tape.
So that's what I was going to ask.
It works pretty well.
What is your? I know that you actually have a great article on your website that shows you how, or like the method to do it. But like, what is your method, and what are your pro tips for installing the reinstalling decals?
So yeah, that's basically I buy a couple cans of freeze spray. And it's kind of like taking Mylar off a play field, but a little less risky. You put the can upside down and you put the super cold spray on the decal, hit it a couple times, and then just start pulling the decal off. If you feel the decal stop removing itself, stop, spray it again, and it'll usually pop right off. And then I take some simple green and just clean the residue off. It's almost like it reminds you of Mylar without or like an overhead projection film. It's almost like that's what they're printed on. It's like a thicker material. It's not like your typical sticker. And you can really easily clean the glue residue off with some simple green or any kind of sticky remover. And then there's a 3M adhesive sheets that are it's no plastic. It's not tape. It's just a layer of adhesive. And you take one side of the protective tape off, put the decal down, trim out the adhesive on the decal, and then you're ready to apply it back onto the machine. Huh. And it's literally that easy. It's for if you have decals you can't replace, that's a great way to do it. Now, topside decals, like on Dirty Harry in the back corner, I ran into that. That is a Mylar decal. You will probably not be able to get that off with the freeze spray method. It's pretty well, it's on there. It's not coming off. So I don't know what the solution is for those kind, but the underside ones are easily reusable.
I've done it a few times, and I've used a combination of
Good
heat
808.
and the upside down compressed air cans. But I think I'll try to run your method verbatim if I don't end up having a replacement decal for this. And maybe we can even do it on the show. I don't know. But see, that's the thing. I don't want to do it in front of everyone because I'll screw it up.
It's been pretty good so far. And buy twice as many spray cans as you think you need. I wound up going on and just buying a case of them. I have like a 12-pack sitting here just because you always run out. So
Nice. All right. Well, let's do another giveaway real quick. Right? That sounds like fun. Giveaway. So a few more people signed up. If you didn't sign up, you missed out. We'll do maybe one more at the end of the show. But let's see who will be the lucky winner of an Indy 500 promotional coaster.
I gotta watch.
The ultimate nostalgia swag for Indy 500.
Oh, it's rigged. It's rigged.
Oh, it's rigged. Jimmy Bolton. Congratulations. Jimmy is my partner in crime. So I guess that's going to me. We have more, everyone. We have more.
You see how close you missed out, Colin? Are you mad?
Fan of the show, Jimmy Bolton. Congratulations. He's probably like, I never win anything. This is awesome. He loves race cars. Awesome. Let's see. Energetic Coach says, I can't get enough of this. I am helping a guy try to get some machines running, but I'm not here yet. Mostly board and fuse troubleshooting. Oh, well, thanks for joining us, Energetic Coach. We do PinTech Live every week, every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And you can watch all of our archives on YouTube. So yeah, Kyle is really awesome with his pinball tech repair. And then sometimes we get to have awesome guests like Jody here from Ramp-O-Matic. Let's get out of that screen. So thanks for joining us.
Did you say really awesome?
Yes.
Wow, thank you. That makes me feel good.
Really awesome.
I try. Without drilling a bunch more holes into... Actually, I guess I could try to drill out some of these rivets. That's actually not too hard. But I was thinking we would maybe put the ramps aside for now and just continue talking about ramps. To get to drill these holes I need to, in this ramp here, I want to be able to take some more precise measurements so I can get things just right. And I don't really feel like doing that right now in the dark and also on camera. I've learned never to do math on camera and also never to try to do things you can't undo on camera, because then you're stuck with it on camera forever.
Forever.
And everything that goes on the internet will never ever come off the internet, so, you know, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, like when you lost your drill bit on like the 3rd episode and it's still, everyone still reminds you once a week.
Once a week. I found that drill bit though. It just came back later in the episode. Right. But yeah, no, this Indy 500's pretty much done, other than getting these ramps on and then play testing it. I know, I think I've 1,000 times, but I've just never actually sat down and worked on it much in the last 3 months. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a good it's done stream, and maybe we'll play it. Maybe I could get Steve to come and join me after work one day. We could drink beer and be merry and play. I gotta ask though, Jody, so with pinball though, like, have you, do you try to tackle a lot of your own repairs, or is that something that you shove off to someone else, a friend or something, or?
I'm kind of the do-it-yourself kind of guy. Nice. I pretty much, whatever, you know, I don't call plumbers, I don't call electricians. I kind of just, I figure it out. Sometimes it's expensive. I tried to fix a System 11 MPU one time, and that taught me, well, I had some battery damage, and wound up spending a lot and not getting it fixed, and then I wound up just buying another one. So you win some, you lose some, but I'll try anything, you know.
It's
just kind of how I roll.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I got in this position too. You always got to try it at least once, because either you learn something and you can repeat it, or you fail and you realize it's not for you, right? System 11s with MPU damage. That's always my favorite. That's the one thing I miss most about doing this for a job, like every day, is the joy of repairing a computer and like bringing it back to life. And it turns on, you're like, all right, the machines can't beat me.
Those fragile System 11 traces just kill me. I'd rather work on a System 80 MPU any day of the week.
Oh yeah, well, I raise you the White Star computer. Those things are scary. They're real scary.
Yeah.
I was thinking, actually, speaking of batteries, oh yeah, I gave those batteries to you, right, Steve? We were cleaning out one of the toolboxes at the office the other day, and I found this weird, it was called a signal injector. I think it's like for working on audio or doing something with a simple circuit, whatever. But I opened up the battery tray, and the batteries in there were, how old do you think they were? Really? They must have been from the early to mid 80s. They're definitely older than I were, but they like had not leaked at all. They were
Oh, wow.
perfect, right? And now it's like we're dealing with like
What brand?
Radio Shack. They were perfect. It was amazing. So it's like I've opened up like
the company.
Yeah.
I opened up that NASCAR we had. It's been in the box since 2006, and the batteries were starting to get fuzzy. You know, I've opened up. I've seen games like original Williams games that have never had the batteries changed, and they haven't leaked a single bit. And then, you know, you get, my partner bought some Duracell batteries and put them in a bag, and, you know, 2 months later they were fuzzy. And it's just like, what is up with this? Like, did they just make them worse now or what?
Yes,
Probably.
they do.
Nothing
That's
beats
right.
the ones from the 80s that where they just said heavy duty on them and they were like deeper on the ends, you know? Those are just awesome.
Well, we don't need batteries anymore because we use NVRAM most of the time. So
Oh yeah.
either
Most
way,
of the time.
I think we should let the show devolve into beer and Q&A stuff for both of us.
It's about that time. Yeah, we have
Bring
about
it
20
on.
more minutes in the show. Everyone, we'll be doing a final giveaway at the end of the show, right at 5 o'clock Eastern. And Kyle is going to donate a special addition to that giveaway. Don't reveal it yet. So this is for the big one. This is the go big or go home
You know what's gonna make me
giveaway.
feel
So
real
I'm gonna
dumb
drop that.
is if I can't find it on my desk. But I'm pretty sure I know where it is. So.
I just saw it on Tuesday, so it's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry, everyone. We got this under control. So for now, everyone in the chat, if you have any questions for Jody or Kyle about ramps, pinball in general, maybe repair you're working on, you're looking for help, drop them in the chat and we'll see if we can help you.
Relationship
them.
advice. I can be like Click and Clack from Car
Just
Talk.
don't ask what Kyle's favorite Star Trek episode is again, because that took almost half an entire show.
No, I could give you, if you asked me right now, I could tell you what it is.
No one's gonna ask you.
It's just like my favorite pinball game. It changes every other week, you know. So I'm gonna keep.
No, to Wispy. If you already signed up, you do not have to sign up again.
I'm gonna keep moving closer to the computer, the big TV screen, because my old man eyes can't read. Hey, actually, Emoto, can you drag the chat thing a little wider? Maybe it will increase, or maybe full screen Streamlabs, and then I can read.
I can't do that because I use other stuff on your desktop. Oh, I don't think it makes. I think you just need better glasses.
I do. These
doesn't
glasses
change
are
the
like
font
6,
size.
7 years old. No, it's okay. I can just go like this.
Yeah. I mean, so that's why I'm here. That's why Midge is over there. We'll read them out to you, like per usual.
But that's the fun about having the giant TVs, because I can read the chat.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's my favorite bit of the last bit of the show, is where I could just read. Binocular glasses?
Yeah, you'll be like zooming in on the chat.
Okay.
All right. Well, Colin Baxter, I would figure, would have asked the first question, which is usually, what are we drinking tonight? But maybe he went AFK.
Yeah, maybe he's really bummed out that he didn't win a Indy 500 coaster and he just like Alt F4'd right away.
He still has one more chance. One more chance. Awesome. Well, no one has any questions. We're ending the show right now.
Yeah, bye, everyone. See you later. No, Jody, it seems like you like to go camping. Is that true or is that false?
I do.
All right.
I like anything outdoors when it's nice out.
when it's not a smog advisory stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like the 3 days a year that it's really nice in Pennsylvania, and it's not 85% humidity in the summer. Yes, I like the mountain bike and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Have you ever been to Dory Hill show? It's the camping pinball show in Colorado.
No, that sounds awesome though.
Yeah, I really want to go. I have a few friends who have been, and you're like you're in whatever forest they have it in, and it's at kind of those camping grounds that have the cabins set up, you know? So a lot of people rent those cabins and they put their pinball machines in there. Other people roll up in RVs and put, their tents up and have their pinball machines out there. They do like a big tournament. But you're camping the whole time. There's dogs running around. There's deer.
It's funny. When my friends that I mountain bike with found out I had pinball machines, they were like, actually, typically it was every year this week. We had a big mountain bike festival we went to out at Raystown Lake in Pennsylvania. And we would rent a houseboat. And that was a running gag for the last couple of years, is bring a pinball machine on the houseboat, even though it's rocking.
No, that sounds great.
Never happened though.
I know that some fellers from LA, they would always bring I don't remember what EM it was, but they put the front legs on two like shallow half moons, and then on the back there was a motor that would rock it like 20 degrees left to right. So you get to sit here and play this goofy like 60s game while it was slowly being rocked left to right. And it was very fun. So I think that's something you need to try.
Fun.
Definitely. I think that would be awesome. The event actually kind of went away last year, and the magazine that sponsored the event went under, but now they're kind of doing their own thing. So maybe we'll get back to it next year.
There you go. I'm thinking it's
I'd consider it.
I'm thinking I'm going to bring a pinball game out on my for a weekend, or I'll bring it inside obviously, but a way to interact with my neighbors a little bit, like hey, I'm a giant weirdo, I've got a bunch of pinball machines inside, come to my porch and play one. That might happen soon. I was thinking about bringing
that with the neighbor kids already.
Oh, you do?
When I'm working on I'm fixing a machine out in the garage, I'll wheel it out in the driveway and let the kids play it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to get, I just moved into this house a couple months ago, so it would be a good way to meet the neighbors, I was thinking. Also a good way to annoy them massively with the chimes going off for hours.
No, I don't think your neighbors will be annoyed by that. I think they will enjoy it.
Never know.
I'm attached to my next door neighbor, and they swear they don't hear the siren on Gold Wings, and I can't fathom that's possible.
Oh man, my friend TJ, he wired up a little button to the back or on the bottom of his Gold Wings, and whenever he bring it to California Extreme, we walk by the game, he just reach under and go to freak everyone out standing near it. I love that.
That's great.
Bring Caribbean Cruise onto the back porch. I should. I put my night moves at the coffee shop next to my house, and they'd be very heartbroken if I took it, but that would be a great game to have on the porch.
Drunk Kenobi gave Jody a very serious question saying, what's your top 3 slept on pinball machines?
Slept on? As in, like, physically fell asleep on?
Game's so boring it
that's a
put you
big
to sleep.
zero.
Slept under?
Get out of here. Yeah.
My
did.
cats sleep under the pinball machines.
Do they ever sleep inside? Do they try to get inside?
I had, it's funny though, when I brought Mouse and Around home, they were all over that. It was like there was some kind of like Trojan horse thing going on. They were up on top of it and inside. Yeah.
They were going into battle.
But I can't get any of them to like watch me play and be interested. I have a friend that he's got a younger cat, and I actually sold him my Guardians of the Galaxy, and that cat, he like reaches down to hit the start button because he like wants the game to start. He likes to watch the
he's
game.
like, let me see the ball. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
None of ours
awesome.
will do that. They're old and cantankerous.
Yeah, so Colin, sorry, I'll get to your question in a second. Pinball Outpost asked, can you explain for the new folks how that suction thingy works? So at the top right, I have the vacuum forming video going on. So you just talk a little bit about your process in making ramps as far as what we're seeing here in this video.
Yeah, so what you're seeing is the plastic falling out of the sky there is actually going up
Fliptronic.
against the heater. And the heater heats the plastic to a certain amount, and I manually pull that plastic down, and once I pull it down over the parts, then I flip a valve that actually has a stored up suction that sucks all the air out, and the bed that those are sitting on have little holes in them, and that allows the air to escape and vacuum the parts down into place. That's kind of oversimplified because you got to have the molds built correctly or you'll have air pockets and stuff like that. But basically it's just a really big vacuum cleaner sucking the plastic flat.
And Mick Squid is in here too. He is the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball homebrew. So Mick Squid, Ryan, did you know that Jody also sells what were you saying for the homebrew ramps, like kind of minor imperfection ramps you can't sell for a new game particular? But
yeah, I save all my blemished ones and ones that didn't pass my QC, and I put them in a big box and sell them in bulk so that guys like you that want to build new machines can cut them up, use them for brainstorming, because that's kind of like, you can spend a lot of time with foam core and stuff trying to make demo ramps up. Well, now you can just find some shapes and cut them to size and see what works. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Get some ramps.
And no, I haven't vacuumed for my hand. That would be painful and not possible, actually.
He says, what I need is a guy I could mail a 3D printed ramp to and get a vacuum formed one back.
I could probably work that out. Make a one-off mold. We can talk about that. Depends how big it is.
Actually, you know what? I have a
his
question.
ramps are pretty short. On if he's talking about the Sonic game.
We can figure that out.
Yeah. McSquid, you can find him on Facebook, Ramp-O-Matics. You can send him a message there or find him on his website in the Contact Us button. I'll post the Ramp-O-Matic Facebook thing again.
Go do it. Make this man busier so he has to quit his real job. Maybe this is trade secrets, but obviously in the mold itself, you have the indentations to where the dimples where screws you'll need to drill, right?
Yep.
Okay. I noticed I can feel them slightly on these ones that don't have the holes in them here, but
it's a good reference point, and some of the ramps form so well I can actually drill off of those dimples because they're all drilled out by hand. I don't use CNC machines because I don't run enough volume to ever get there. I do have a CNC router, but it's not. I would need to run a lot of ramps like Starship Fantasy to ever make that cost effective and time effective.
Yeah.
So I make jigs up, drilling jigs, which is what they did back in the day. They made some pretty nice jigs with hardened bushings in them, so they just drop a ramp in, drill
Yeah,
all the holes out, and you're done.
I've seen those
you know?
before. I think last time I was at one of the California shows, Bay Area Amusements brought out a couple of the drilling forms for mousing around ramps or something like that. It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Those little bushings are like more expensive than they should be. I was thinking they're like $5 to $8 a piece, and if you got like 20 some holes in a ramp, it kind of adds up.
Jeez.
So.
Yeah, this isn't
For
cheap.
sure. T. Peters asked, is there
Yeah, nothing
a
about it
thread?
is really cheap.
Is there a thread about reusing ramp decals? Can you do that? Can you reuse ramp decals?
On my website, there is a tutorial section, and the only article in the tutorial section is actually how to reuse the ramp decals.
Oh wow!
So I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one specifically on riveting soon, because there's a lot of people that are like afraid of that and don't.
We get that question so much on this show about like riveting tips.
Yeah, I'm trying to make that easier for people, and I'm, sourcing out the rivets. I only use nickel-plated brass rivets. I think they're more OEM for the most part, and they're much more forgiving and less likely to crack ramps. So they're kind of hard to find.
Riveting is easy, but it just takes a specific set of tools and a little bit of know-how. Like, don't be scared of it, but I do want to show it on the show sometime, but I need to find where my big rivet, my hand rivet press is. Like a $300 tool that's just like drew legs and walked off somewhere.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Awesome. Oh, Fliptronic has an interesting question. In theory, is how it starts. Could a sheet of ramp material be UV printed on, then heat it and mold it to get some crazy graphic printed ramps? That would be cool.
Possibly. There's been some talk about that, and I've kind of wondered in the past if they've done something like that with, say, Escape from the Lost World, Blackwater. Special Force has the painted. I don't know if that's done before or after, because like Special Force has like a sponge painted effect on it. It almost, it's not a solid color, and I wondered if that was pre-painted somehow and then formed.
I always
like a
assumed it was a
definitive
post
line
paint.
too where it stops.
Oh yeah.
But there's like some deep channels. I don't know how you would really paint it very easily. So that's a question. It's part of the reason I haven't done the rest of the Special Force ramps yet, is because I'm like, A, there's not a whole lot of demand. B, there's that painting. I try to make it complete, but if I do them, it's probably going to wind up being a clear ramp for now.
I think what you need to do is you need to use your position to drive demand. So you need to buy up every Special Force because no one wants them. Make the ramp.
That's right.
No, don't do that.
There we go.
That's my goal, is to just continue buying crappy old pinball machines, and then just continue telling everyone that they're the best games ever, so I can sell them all for a lot of money one day when I decide to put pinball behind me.
It's a fun game too. I don't get it. Like,
it is.
I enjoy Special Force better than Thunderbirds. I mean, it's I don't know. It's kind of got that world under glass.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, man. Oh, whew. Steve and we can talk about Thunderbirds after we turn the camera. Yeah, no. I don't know. I think that is those Bally games, all those 6803 games are dreadfully underloved. They're all so great.
I agree. Yep, in fact, so that's like, I've concentrated on System 80Bs. I'm going to be putting more emphasis on 6803s next. Not 100% emphasis, but there's going to be a definite emphasis on some 6803s. I can just temper people's enthusiasm now.
Hardbody has no ramps.
I'm not familiar.
I mean, it
doesn't have a ramp, does it?
Oh yeah, the two metal ones. I was thinking my plastics are broken.
Actually, no.
I know how.
Hardbody does have a ramp. It has a back way.
Is it hidden?
Yeah.
Okay.
The loop in the back is a injected or a vacuum formed plastic piece. There you go.
I would consider it. So when I bought Arena, the guy had a Road Kings and a hard body too, and I passed on the hard body as well, and I like kicked myself.
Mistake.
It's like $700. I was like, I should have bought it.
Mistake.
Because
I know.
it looks like a fun game.
It is.
It's so much fun.
It is a really fun
Have you
game.
played Dungeons and
Radical.
Dragons?
I have.
Did you? So it's very similar layout in the sense that they have the flex saves, which is the best part. The kind of magic saves, I think, is what Dungeons and
I
Dragons.
thought it was like a
calls
poor man's Radical.
No, not
No, not
Radical.
Radical,
BMX.
Yeah.
BMX.
Yes,
yeah.
BMX.
No, it's the better version of BMX.
Arguably.
Either way,
I know.
there's
I
so
wasn't
few
very
BMXs
convincing of
out
that.
there.
I would love a BMX, but hard bodies agree.
Well, if you come to Allentown, Penn Skate in Allentown has a BMX on location.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a really fun game. It's really neat. I think it was just a sign of the times, like why that game never got made. You know, 83, that was just the worst year for pinball. But it's a good game. Hard body's different, of course, because it's 2-level, or intensely 2. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, and you want to stay on the top level.
I'm
It's
excited
so
to go
intense.
to Pennsylvania for the first time. I'm so excited that I am actually drinking Pennsylvania beer right now. So
Yingling's from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
that's right.
Oh.
Well, I'm drinking regular beer. If you can
What's
see this, it
Oh my
says-
gosh, it says regular beer.
Yes.
Did you get that? Like, where do you
It's a
get
beer that
regular
tastes
beer?
like beer, and it's from Duclaw Brewing in Maryland.
Huh. I think I've seen that before on the shelf. I'll have to pick that up. Regular beer.
It's
It's
regular.
pretty good. It's kind of just like your regular lager, lawnmower beer.
Yeah. That's Yingling to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
All right, everyone, we're almost to the end of our show. I posted the giveaway link one more time if you want to drop your name in there for a chance to win a, right above me, Indy 500 promotional coaster plus a very special extra gift from Kyle. Kyle, do you want to tell the audience what they're going to win today?
Nope. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, then, dang.
No, we got. Last time I ordered a bunch of ramps. Jody
No, don't
sent
tell
us.
the story. You're just going to say your very prized possession you are willing to give away to one of our loyal PinTech fans.
Yes, all of the above. I am going to give away one of my very dearly beloved Ramp-O-Matic bottle opener.
Yay!
That's right. See, Jody's
That's
got the
awesome.
swag thing down. Like, we don't have a bottle opener. We don't have our koozie. He's already got all this stuff.
Oh, man.
Miles
I'll bring
ahead.
some good stuff to Allentown.
They're coming. Oh, everyone actually just wanted a lock of your hair. So you could send that, too, if you really wanted to. You still have your old hair, right?
Oh, yeah.
Make it in like
Do
a
an
little
NFT
braid.
on it.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, no, I have a whole baggie full of my long hair that I took just so I could torment my partner with it because she was not a fan of my long hair at all. So the people at the barber, like the girl at the barber shop was like horrified when he was like, "Well, I'll put it in a bag." I was like, "No, it's okay." I just grabbed like a big thing of hair and put it in my pocket. And she was just like, "What the hell?"
It's so weird.
I don't know if she realized that I walked there, but you know, I guess it was kind of weird in retrospect. So, anyways,
Oh, my gosh.
if anyone wants some hair, that's
Yeah,
weird.
don't send them the hair because they're already conspiring using your hair follicles for crime scene placement. So maybe you don't want to do that. You might
Yeah.
wake up and you have a clone one day. Someone figured out how to clone you with your hair follicles.
I would very much appreciate a clone because I have more work to do than I am physically able to. So if someone would like to clone me, they could reach out for some hair. But that's about it.
Yeah, we'll buy one. We'll buy an extra Kyle for
Ugh.
Marco.
Marco
right.
Ramirez would hate that.
All right, I'm dropping in. I'm updating the list of names. We got a lot more people in here. I'm going to take out the duplicates.
Let me get
You guys
Steve some
can
of my
continue
hair.
talking.
I'm gonna make Steve like one of those old Victorian like death lockets of, or like something with like a little thing of my hair.
Oh my gosh. All right, taking you out. You already won.
Hair wreath. I know. I've seen him.
Colin's in here like 20 times. All right.
Yeah, because he wants to
Peter.
win. Oh man,
Getting
you guys are
the
just as weird as I am.
wisp.
I guess that makes me really happy.
It's true. It's just funny to call you weird. All right. And some in.
Look at all those names.
It's a lot of
Oh,
names,
oh,
right?
there's even more names this time. Wow, look at that.
The wheel is getting skinnier pie pieces. All
I'm gonna
right,
get
here
up
we
close
go.
to the TV so I can watch.
Oh, Kyle, you're leaving the shot. All
Well,
right, is
there's no
everyone
shot.
ready to win a Indy 500 promotional coaster and a Ramp-O-Matic bottle opener
I'm not
keychain?
even on it.
And I believe it is a dark red color. Here we go. Ooh, who's it gonna be? Joe Pastula.
Go ones.
Congratulations.
Hey, good job. Now you get a sweet bottle opener for all your soda and/or beer needs, as well as an Indy 500 poster.
Joe, are you here? If you are here, accept your award. We can make sure it goes through. Otherwise, I'll do it again.
Wait, what?
Whoops. Well, you have to be
Oh,
here
there
to
he
win.
is.
Oh, Glomelly. Oh, Glomelly. You're Joe. I knew that. That's awesome. Congratulations. Would you like a lock of Kyle's hair to go
Oh
with that
no, that
package?
is not on the table.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
That's disgusting. It's like bioterror.
It was your suggestion. Ah, I got it. I like it.
The guy saying yay.
Very
Y'all
cool.
are wacky. Anyways. No, I didn't even want it. That's why I cut it off my head.
Me and Midge wanted it. All right.
Well,
Colin, sorry you didn't win this time. Maybe next week. Next week, I'm going to try to set up a Simpsons trivia game for all of us to play. We did this at one of our offsite meetings. Ryan Holman put together, and everyone logs in with their phone, types in a code, and you join in kind of like you don't know Jack. And we'll do some trivia, and then whoever wins that will win something cool.
wait, we're working on Simpsons again?
We go through this every week, but
Why? Wait, oh, I guess it's not done all the way, but it's almost done.
yeah.
Okay, so it can be like 1 hour of working and 1 hour of me ranting and getting mad about pinball?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're finishing up Simpsons, so we'll never see it on our show again unless we get Ramp-O-Matic ramps to put on it.
Oh, we will,
There
eventually.
we go. Oh, you will.
And
Yep.
Then we'll come back
Fairly
for it.
soon.
But it'll take a break after next week. So, all right.
Oh, wait, okay, so here's some other cool stuff. We got to do an EM soon, and we got to get David to come on to the chat eventually, but I just bought another EM, and it's weird, and that's going to be fun to work on, and I think it would be good because it's a single-player game, and it's really, really simple. But for some reason, someone decided to coat the entire shooter lane in wood putty. But it doesn't look like it's water damaged. It doesn't have like puncture damage from the underside. So I'm really, really curious to rip it all apart and figure out why someone wood puttied it and how much I might need to put back on and faux wood grain in or something like that. So
They probably put that on instead of adjusting a
That sounds
switch.
awesome. What game? What game was that you
on
said?
that? Oh, it's a hotline.
Ah.
Oh yeah, I got a hotline, and it's actually really gorgeous. It's like one. It might be the nicest hotline I've ever seen, except for the wood putty all the way up the damn shooter lane. So, I We'll see. We'll see. But that's a great game because it's a Williams game. It's super, super simple. I know how to work on Williams EMs really well. Well, not really well, but well enough. And it's a single player, so it's even more simple. That might be our EM of choice.
Okay.
So.
Can we get Polanski on here too for that one?
Yeah, we probably could.
McSquid says, you do not wood putty your shooter lanes?
No. Not that way.
Don't do that.
So we'll see. But maybe that's something we'll talk about in our next PinTech meeting, and we'll get that game on the show or something.
Awesome. Yeah, I took notes. But all right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Jody, for our entire show. It's great having you on.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys for having me. Everybody at Marco's really awesome, top to bottom. I mean, if you're in the business of making pinball parts, you should be working with Marco.
Yeah,
they're awesome. So.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And we hope to see you back on our show. And we will probably see you at Allentown before that. So it'd be great to meet you in person.
I hope so.
Let's do it.
Great. Sounds
awesome.
Great.
Thank you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out today. We will see y'all next week.
Wait.
Same time,
raiding?
same place. Oh, yeah, let's raid someone. So everyone on Twitch, we're going to raid another channel, so stick around so we can show some love to some other pinball streamers. We have Mystery Pinball Theaters playing Deadpool.
Yep. Let's do it.
Laser Los is playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or 50% Gaming. Oh, that's not pinball.
We rated Laser Los last time. Let's give Manu some love this time.
Wait, let's see who else is on. I would love to give Manu love. Here it is. Mystery Pinball Theater 3000. Let's all go on to... I don't think he's at Free Gold Watch, but that doesn't matter. We'll go hang out with Manu real quick.
There are other places to play
Deadpool.
pinball in San Francisco.
Kyle just got a Deadpool and put it on location almost immediately. That's how much he loves his Columbia community. So if you're in Columbia and you want to play Deadpool, go to Transmission Arcade.
Yeah. And then the more you play it, the faster I can pay it off, which means I might be able to buy a Mandalorian sometime so everyone else can play it. So.
Yay, and we're all winners.
Ta-da!
Yeah, Deadpool's great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks
for joining us. We're raiding. Raid. It's raiding.